Welcome back to 40 Score Sports, post Super Bowl episode. This week, I'm Ryan. I'm joined with Colt Powell. What's good? Devontae Keith.
Sam.
Kent Lake.
What's up?
And Zach Dietrich.
Yo.
So, obviously, last weekend was the Super Bowl. The Rams defeated the Bengals in a great game. And NBA All-Star Weekend is this weekend. We're recording this on Saturday, so the skills competition, 3-point contest, that's all tonight. And then the game is tomorrow night, obviously. So we're going to talk about that, a little bit of hockey, Hurricanes. A few of us got to watch that game the other night against the Panthers. What was that, Thursday night?
Yeah, it was Wednesday,
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Zach live tweeted it. It was funny. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get into this. And I know all of us have a few little topics that we want to talk about. So whenever your topic fits, just kind of throw it in there. But let's talk about the Super Bowl. What did you guys notice? Kent, would you like to go first or last?
It doesn't matter to me.
No, let that man go first.
Yeah, you can go first and last.
Whole statement.
I thought it was a really good game, like you said. The Rams were able to get pressure as was expected. They did it. They really killed us in the second half with the pressure. First half, actually, we looked pretty good. But obviously, there were some penalties on both ways. We saw the face mask with T. Higgins and Ramsey. And then there was the hold on Ramsey in the end zone with T. Higgins where he was holding his shirt. I don't think it was a very good throw either way on that situation. And then obviously the hold on Logan Wilson on Cooper Kupp at the end of the game. I don't know. I felt like if they weren't going to call that type of call all game, then it shouldn't have been called in the final 2 minutes like it was. But I'm not going to blame the refs. The Bengals had plenty of opportunities to score, and we didn't. I thought everybody looked pretty okay except for the O-line. The only phenomenal player to me, once again, was actually there was two. You had Mixon, who averaged over 4 yards a carry, and then you had Jamar, who obviously cooked Ramsey 2 or 3 times. Well, it was one time on the final drive where he cooked them pretty bad too. Ramsey tried to jump the route, but yeah. Anyways, and then obviously the deep pass.
Last play of the game, too, right? He beat.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So the last play of the game, not only was that, but if you go back and you look, Aaron Donald was actually offsides.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Well, from that angle, at least, I don't know what it looked like from down on the ground.
Yeah, it's possible that he wasn't, but it looked like it was pretty.
Yeah.
Obvious. I don't know. I'm not going to sit there because it passes a pass. We're not going to get a redo Super Bowl. But Cooper Kupp looked great. He cooked Eli Apple a couple times. But honestly, everyone's out here making fun of Eli Apple because he talks a lot of shit.
He sucks.
Well, here's the thing. Yeah, he's not that great, but we don't need him to be our cornerback number one. We don't need him to be the best cornerback on our team. We have Mike Hilton. We have Cheeto, who, by the way, Cheeto played awesome.
Great game.
Yeah, him and Logan Wilson ate it up out there. But yeah, so I don't know. I was pretty happy with the game as a whole, but not happy with the outcome, obviously. But yeah, I mean, dude, we weren't even supposed to make playoffs. We were supposed to be the worst team in the division. People had us having 3 wins all season. And I had us having 7 wins all season. I didn't know we were going to be this good. But my last thing about this is I don't think I think tonight or not tonight, but Super Bowl night, we saw why I did not pick Zach Taylor to win Coach of the Year. You cannot be running it with Samaje Perine on 3rd and 1 twice, who is a pass-catching back. Keith mentioned that last episode. You got to run with Mixon, the guy who's averaging over 4 yards a carry. So that's all I have to say about that. But, yeah.
I want to ask, with the Ravens getting healthy and, Aaron Rodgers potentially going to the AFC and all this other stuff, do you guys think that the Bengals are legit Super Bowl contenders week 1 next year?
Week one.
Going into week 1, do you think that they are seen as like a top 4
I think
team threat?
Personally, I think it's gonna be another slow burn like it was this year. Not necessarily a slow burn. Like they come in. I'm scared of the hype that they'll get going into week 1, and then like when all falls apart, it's gonna go opposite. Like they start off hot, kind of like they did the Cowboys. The same thing that happened to the Cowboys. They started off hot, and as the season went in, steep decline, and they roasted y'all asses for it. Bengals got the opposite end on it now. The camera is on them coming up season, and it's could possibly be the same thing, especially if some of the players go get paid elsewhere or another freak injury or something like that. So I hope not. I hope they don't come in hot week 1. Like win a game here and there, cool, but like I don't want that hype.
I think that we like legitimately could like have one of the best rosters in the NFL next year if we play the off season right. We have to go out and get at least 2 or 3 new linemen. Like we absolutely have to at the bare minimum. And then we probably need one more new cornerback. And then obviously my biggest thing for the offseason is that we do not cut Trey Waynes. I am going to be freaking livid because he is about to get paid $15 million a year or $15 million this next year. And he has played 2 games with us this will be his 3rd year next season. So we're paying him $15 million a year. You can't do that for a guy who's not playing. And when he did play, he looked pretty crappy. So that's my biggest number one. And then we have $66 million in cap once we do that. So I think we got to get at least a couple they can be older O linemen. And then we search in the draft for maybe 2 or 3 younger guys. But we have 8 picks, not like the Rams where we sold out for this season. But yes, I think Cincinnati may be a popular destination this offseason, just being the hype that the team got, like Keith said.
It's the first time that anybody's ever said that Cincinnati was a hot destination.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Am I wrong though? I mean,
I think you make a good point about that. I think the teams that go to the Super Bowl or they're good, or that teams that people can rally behind and they like the way that they play football, they play the game the right way. I think that it is like a hot destination. Zach Taylor, like obviously you didn't win Coach of the Year, but I mean Zach Taylor's still a coach that guys would like to play for. At least I get that vibe from the guys that are on the team. He's kind of a player's coach, which is always something you want to see. As far as them being contenders, obviously it's hard to say because we haven't seen, pre-draft cuts, post-draft cuts, the NFL draft in general, the combine. We haven't seen free agent acquisitions. We haven't seen any of that. But I think Ryan brings up a really good point that, Burrow is a great quarterback. I think he's a top 7, 8 quarterback, somewhere around that range. But you have guys like Mahomes, you have guys like Herbert, you have guys like Rodgers might go to the AFC. Lamar Jackson is going to be healthy again. We don't know what's going to happen with Watson. I think if Watson gets traded, I think he'll go to the NFC, but Watson is still in the AFC as of right now. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I think that the Bengals are a really good team. I think what they really showed me during the playoffs, and I kind of called them out for it when they played the Raiders, and at the end of the year, their run defense was absolutely getting gashed. Josh Jacobs ran all over him in the first round. At the end of the season, they were getting ran all over him. And then that's why I originally picked Tennessee, and I'm like, okay, the last 4 games, they're averaging over 5 yards a carry to the opposing team's lead back. Shut down Derrick Henry against the Chiefs. I mean, you don't really need to shut down the room because they're a fly-high offense. But they shut down – I think that the Rams maybe ran the ball like 15 times for like 24 yards or something like that. Kent kind of brought up Logan Wilson and Cheeto. I'm going to bring up DJ Reader. I think DJ Reader balled his ass off. My boy is a Texans fan, so losing him, he was really mad about it at the time, and now I get to see why. It's kind of hard to shine on a defense in Houston, so I'm glad that he's finally getting that recognition he deserves in Cincinnati. But they do have cap space, like Kent said. Most of their playmakers like Burrow, Chase, Higgins, all these guys are on rookie deals right now, so you don't have to worry about paying them that big money right now at this second. I think Bates is due for a contract extension this year.
Yes, that is
that's
correct.
right. So you might have to dip into that cap space a little bit to bring back one of the league's top safeties. I mean, rightfully so. I mean, he didn't have the best playoffs, but he's still one of the league's top safeties. So
He didn't have a pick.
he had a pick at the end of the game. But
I thought he played really well in the playoffs. I think he had 2 or 3 interceptions in the playoffs.
Well, then I might be mistaken. I just know from what I saw, it looked like
he had a rough regular season.
Okay, then that's what it was. Maybe I have it backwards, that he had a rough regular season, but he balled out in the playoffs. Because I was here about them talking about it on ESPN. But obviously he's one of the best safeties in the NFL. That pick, while it was a pick, it might have well been a punt. I think Stafford was just throwing it up 3rd and long. It was good as a punt, but it was still an interception. He made a great play on the ball. So I think it was Van Jefferson couldn't get the touchdown. So I think it's interesting. I think that they'll go in with a lot of hype. I don't want to say they'll be overrated because I think they'll be a good team, but I think at the same time, people will look at them in the same stratosphere as like the Chiefs and Bills, when I wouldn't put them there right now, but that's just my
put them one level below.
I'd put them one level below I'd probably put the Ravens there. The Patriots you got to put there just because Belichick is always going to be competitive, but I think that's a really good point.
Yeah, it is. I know I've already spoken. It's just totally like Colt said. Goodness gracious, like Colt said, it is like nothing. The draft hasn't happened. Free agency hasn't happened. Like we also did sign Zach Taylor until 2026.
I did see that. I like that. That's a good.
And our only big guys that we got to get in the offseason, like to re-sign, are Bates, Ogunjobi, and CJ Uzama. And I already heard that Gronk. I may have already said this on a different episode, but Gronk said he wanted to play with Joe Burrow if he doesn't retire.
He's an eater. You don't want that.
The Bengals run 2 tight ends all the time. I'm good with him and Uzama out there.
But yeah, that actually transitioning wise, bringing into superstars that you want to re-sign, it kind of brings it into Kent's topic. If Kent, you want to take that away.
Yeah. So this made me think of like I knew we were about to talk about the Super Bowl, so I wanted to ask, other than quarterback and left tackle, what are the 3 positions that you guys would like to have a superstar player at on your team?
In order or just in general?
Give me in order. I think in order is I go first, just off the.
So are we just assuming the quarterback is average and shit? Like, who's our quarterback? That has a lot to do with it.
Just say that you already have a superstar left tackle and a superstar quarterback.
Okay. Okay.
So I would probably go at number 1. I want a superstar defensive end. Or edge rusher, whatever you want to say. That's what I want, number 1. Number 2, I would like to have probably a superstar wide receiver. If I have a superstar quarterback, I would probably like to have a superstar wide receiver as well. Number 3, I think I'd probably go with a superstar linebacker, a middle linebacker to be more specifically. I think they run the defense. That's probably what I would go with. And then number 4, if you guys want to know, mine is cornerback at number 4.
See, I would go, if I already have the superstar quarterback and left tackle, I want a superstar corner, someone that can lock up the whole side of the field. Don't even look that way. A superstar, like Micah Parsons-esque, like pass rush, middle linebacker, like Von Miller, but can also, athletic as hell, like prime Von Miller. And then superstar wide receiver, Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers connection type of deal.
So are you the Micah Parsons-esque, what position are you calling him?
Pass
rusher.
Linebacker. I guess pass rush outside linebacker. Yeah, it just depends on the formation they run. He can play coverage or
the fact that you named Von Miller and Micah Parsons and didn't name the defensive player of the year is a little disappointing.
Well, he doesn't really play. He doesn't play coverage that much. Not as much as Micah.
Not very often.
He's
pretty much a premier pass rusher.
Well, when you said like a pass rusher, right? Correct.
Well, yeah, but I mean more Micah Parsons. But Von Miller, back in his prime, he would drop back a lot and cover the middle of the field. That's what I mean by that.
Okay.
Like,
well, you said
coverage, good. Yeah.
But end up in. You can just say it's stand up in, I guess. So you said we already have the superstar quarterback and left tackle, right? All right. So like highest priority to me, obviously, is going to be like edge rush or stand up DN, whatever. Next up, I'm going to go with safety. And then I was just thinking about this. The third, I want a superstar tight end. Reason being, I was just thinking about how recently there have been more game planning for tight ends, right? But if you game plan strictly for a tight end, that just whoever you have for wide receiver, it just opens it up for them as well as the running game. So if I have a superstar tight end that can run with a wide receiver and block for a running back, I'm pretty good, to me at least.
I guess so just in general, if you were to ask every like NFL GM, all 32 of them would give you the same 5 most important positions on a football field, right? It would be obviously the tackle, and the other 3 would be wide receiver, corner, and edge rusher. Those are the next 3 most important. Obviously when you have like a physical freak or something, you can talk like a Micah Parsons or like, for example, an Aaron Donald. I mean, is that obviously has kind of a different value than, you know, just a regular superstar defensive tackle when you're talking about one of the greatest players in the league right now. I still would go wide receiver, corner, and edge rusher as well. But of course, if you have like somebody that's a freak, like what happens when you have a safety that can play in the box? I mean, that changes the game. Essentially like a hybrid linebacker, that could be more important to a defense depending on who you have. But I think definitely it has to be edge rusher, and then the wide receiver corner matchup has to be.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Zach. Those are my exact 3. I'm not really going to elaborate on it. I mean, if you look at the teams that made the playoffs, who got far in the playoffs, are consistently good every year, it feels like that those are positions they're really strong at. So I'll just leave it at that. In the order, I guess I would go corner, edge, and then wide receiver for me.
No. Before we transition into another sport here, NFL, shout out to the Rams. You know, they showed, Zach mentioned, not sell out, but, you know, give it everything for established talent instead of trying to wait and develop these guys, which could take 3-4 years. It worked. You know, granted, will it work again? Is Stafford that guy? Is he? It's real quick, without any explanation. Yes or no? Stafford. If Stafford retires right now, is he a Hall of Famer? I say no.
Not even close.
Yes.
I wouldn't say not even close, but
he has a Super Bowl.
He's been to 1 Pro Bowl.
He's been to 1 Pro Bowl. He's got no
popularity vote. He played in Detroit his whole career.
So did Calvin Johnson, and he made All Pros. Barry Sanders, MVP.
Calvin Johnson's like arguably the greatest wide receiver of all time. Matthew Stafford is not arguably the greatest quarterback of all time.
I agree.
I think Ken brings up a good point. I forgot like the way the Pro Bowl went. You didn't just. I guess the Pro Bowl voting was more fair. And you got. I guess you have to think about who was in the NFC while he was in the NFC too.
He was never even a top. Has he ever been a top 5 quarterback in the league?
But he was quarterbacks when he was in the NFC.
Has he been a top 5 quarterback in the NFC ever?
He's 12th in passing yards all time. Dude's like 33.
At least
he used to literally just close his eyes and throw it down the field and hope Megatron was down there, bro. Like, I'm so serious.
He had a ton of time with that O-line that he had in Detroit, right?
I don't give a damn about his O-line, bro.
Oh my God.
Bro,
well, then what's the second most valuable position on the football field?
Left tackle.
It's left tackle. I don't care. You're not putting a guy in that
side blocker.
George Foster.
He's absolutely all right. Is Matt Ryan a Hall of Famer?
No. But at least he's got an MVP.
He got an MVP.
He does have an MVP.
I don't think he is either, but I think Matt Ryan deserves it over Stafford.
Yeah.
If you had to choose one of them.
All right. Anyways,
I don't even think it's close.
Moving on. NBA, right? It's All-Star weekend. So, wait, Keith, what was your topic? You had one. NFL.
Oh yeah. All right. So my boy Harrison, shout out Harrison, my mud brother. He sent me a random Black History fact. Actually, this dude named Morris Stroud played for the Chiefs, of course. Bro was 6'10", played tight end. And right now, there's a Stroud rule for football. And the rule says goaltending by any player leaping up to deflect the kick as it passes above the crossbar. So that's the reason why you can't jump up over, I guess, while kicking a field goal. And so my random question that I thought about was, at your physical bodily dimensions right now, obviously none of us are 6'10", but who could you compare your body to a either current or past NFL athlete? So I'll start first. I actually looked it up. Me being the specimen that I am, I can be compared to my boy Dawson Knox for the Buffalo Bills, 6'4", 250. Obviously, a lot of lost potential.
You did my work for me. I was like, who's 6'4", like about 250-ish? Yeah, that's
Dawson Knox. But then I looked and saw, I was thinking well, if you're short, you can always play baseball or football. But the NFL has gotten taller.
Oh yeah,
everybody's well over 6 foot. I mean, at least 6 foot. And if you're 5, whatever, you got to be fast as hell, running from a dog fast. And Ryan, I know I asked you about it, and you said you were struggling a little bit, so I figured I'd help you out.
Yeah, no, I figured it out. I read the text too after I realized who it was, and then I read your text and it was the same person.
Yeah, but just so you know, CD's only 10 pounds heavier than you. If that.
CD Lamb?
He's 6'2",
190.
185.
Wow, he's 6'2"?
Yeah.
Damn, I did not realize that. I thought he was smaller than that.
No, they give you the cleat height for football rosters.
You're telling me CD Lamb is only 10 pounds more than me?
Yes.
That's all it takes? He looks skinny as hell.
Yeah, that's what I told you. Boy.
Wow, I was gonna go Devontae Smith, but yeah, I'll take CD Lamb.
You just gave Ryan a chub over there.
Speaking of Nick Chubb, you probably about his size, aren't you, Kent?
Hey, let's chill out on my name. I'm a lot taller.
How tall is he? Oh, he's little. He's 5'11", isn't he?
Yeah.
5'11".
All right, cool.
Yeah, so mine, for you guys that don't know, compared to everybody else that I'm currently talking to, I'd say I'm about half a foot shorter than everybody in here. I'm a little vertically challenged compared to these guys. I'm only 5'9", about 180. So with the person with the same dimensions as me, same skin color as well, former Patriots legend Wes Welker, Super Bowl champ Wes Welker, that is me. Run routes, I've got hands just like him. I would say I am Wes Welker-esque. That is me.
Wow, look at that. 5'9", 180. 5'9", though? You sure about that?
He's 5'9". You can look it up.
No, I know he's sure. I'm saying, are you sure?
Oh, I am 5'9". You can ask Ryan. Ryan can be my accomplice here. I am 5'9".
I feel like you're taller than that.
I'm 5'9", 5'10".
Okay. What about you, Zach?
Yeah, so I was, of course, kind of looking at it, because I'm about 190-ish. So of course, kind of looking at receivers or corners. That's pretty much going to be your best bet in there. I actually found a pretty good one. I got Richard Sherman. It seems that I would just picking these players is really random and everything, but I saw he made a quote about Stafford, which actually had me thinking about it. So yeah, no, Richard Sherman's about 6'2" and a half, 6'3". He's real skinny. He's 195, so he's got me by a couple of pounds. But yeah, I had Richard Sherman actually.
Wait, real quick before we go, isn't it crazy how you just said he's real skinny and all that shit? But
compared to other NFL players,
yeah, just last night at the NBA celebrity game, Myles Garrett compared to everyone else on the court.
Dude, he looked like an action figure out there, bro.
Oh
no
my
cap.
God, dude, people were bouncing. Machine Gun Kelly was bouncing off of him.
Yeah.
Machine Gun Kelly's in the thumbnail, by the way. Let me say that.
Bro, y'all really let him play in that game in Cool Graves. I didn't.
Definitely did play in Cool Graves.
I turned it off.
All right.
Ken didn't answer. Oh, he said.
Yeah, dude. I said I'm literally that same height and weight as you, dog.
Oh, I'll be done.
I'm going with Dawson Knox.
Oh,
I'm rolling with it. I also found Jordan. You remember Jordan Akins, the tight end on Houston?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like the same height and weight as us as well.
Or Leighton Vander-Esch.
Don't pick him.
Yeah,
Don't pick him. Pick somebody else.
Hey, you go and pick him. You're liable to tear an ACL next week.
Yeah.
Or just not be able to tackle ever again.
Too late.
Yeah, that too.
Already kind of shredded.
All right.
But but I don't know. Stuff like that kind of makes me think like, wow, did I really waste my potential by being a normal human? No.
Not being a normal human.
Yeah.
Transitioning on, as we just said, NBA All-Star Weekends this weekend. I know that we've all pretty much said that Team LeBron we think is going to win the All-Star game.
I'm going to Team KD because they got sweats. They got tryhards.
Exactly. We got the young guys who want to try hard. I might go with KD as well.
Even though Team LeBron has the biggest sweat, Giannis. That is the sweat. That is the huge sweat.
Premier sweat of the All-Star game.
I want to talk about the dunk contest and the skills and the dunk skills and 3-point contest.
Predictions?
Yeah, let's do our predictions. So the participants for the dunk contest are Jalen Green, Cole Anthony, Obi Toppin, and Juan Toscano Anderson. I know we've vaguely talked about it, but to be quick, I'm gonna roll with Cole Anthony. He's a guard, so hopefully he's doing something cool. I don't know. It'd be cool to watch a guard win. It's not exactly.
I'm rolling with JG. JG's going to win. If you want to win money, put money on JG money line. I don't know if that's a thing, but put money on JG. I guarantee you he wins the dunk contest. Been watching this dude since I was a freshman in high school. He was my favorite player in high school. Watched him play for the G League at night. Now I'm watching him on the Rockets. Easily one of my favorite players in the league, and I'm not just saying that because he is one of my favorite players in the league. He's got one of the most bounce in the league. He can do some crazy shit with some creativity. So I'm definitely rolling with JG, but I've got Cole Anthony as my runner-up.
I'll roll with JG too, just because I don't know. All he can do is just play for self at this point. I mean, the Rockets are through. He's just playing for a check at this point, so he might as well do something cool to end his rookie season, and this will be pretty cool.
Yeah. Just since you mentioned Cole, like obviously the betting, just so you got Jalen Green is favored to win the dunk contest, and they actually have Obi Toppin pretty close to him. Actually, is the second guy. The dunk contest obviously isn't really it's not built for the big men. Toppin, it takes a little bit more like dexterity and stuff like that. So I think Jalen Green's gonna win it. Cole Anthony could surprise somebody. He's obviously bouncy. I don't really know anything about Toscano Anderson, to be honest with you. Like I don't really know what he's got in his bag, but I think JG's gonna win it, man. He's freaky. He's freaky.
I will actually be rolling with Obi Toppin. He played at Dayton, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So I remember watching him in a couple games his final year. He's also ridiculously bouncy as well. I think you know, like I don't know, man. I just think that he's gonna win. That's all I'm gonna say.
It's so hard to like have a reasoning behind the side.
Dunk contest.
Yeah.
It literally comes down to who do you think is going to be the most creative with their dunks.
And it's not even that. It's they have to successfully do whatever they're creating.
Exactly. At. So I'm gonna take.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think Obi Toppin's gonna win.
Yeah.
But like, I don't really care, to be honest with you, like whatsoever. I'll be happy if Jalen Green wins. I just want to see some cool dunks.
Fair enough. 3-point contest. We've got Desmond Bain, Luke Kennard, Zach LaVine, CJ McCollum, Patty Mills, Karl Anthony Towns, Fred VanVleet, and Trae Young. I really, for some reason, want to say Desmond Bain, but he was atrocious last night in the little Rising Stars thing where they had to make all their shots at 5 different spots in X amount of time, whatever. He was atrocious. So for that reason, you know, I'm going Zach LaVine. I think he's going to be the first person. I believe he will be the first person to win 3-point contest and dunk contest, right? Not in the same year, but
yeah.
Overall, I don't think anyone else ever that's one that
he
has
won it
won
twice, right?
He's won dunk contest twice.
Yeah.
But he's never won the 3-point contest. I think he does it tonight. The guard for the Chicago Bulls is the greatest all-star weekend competitor ever.
Honestly, it might be that sort of hate fuels him. Like Jordan never did it. And then, he goes to Chicago because people forgot about Zach LaVine and they thought he was a one-trick pony with the dunks. And now that DeMar DeRozan is sort of taking over, you might be like, you know what? I think they forgot. So that hate is going to fuel. He's going over that.
Hey, LaVine is getting his love this year, though. He's averaging like 25 a game. Are him and DeRozan the highest scoring duo in the league?
Right now?
I think they are. They're both averaging over 25. I don't think LeBron and AD count.
Oh, well, yeah.
Steph and Clay don't. Who else would even beat Kawhi and Paul George? No. All right, anyway, so y'all got one of the three-point contests.
Give me Fred VanVleet. He's been ripping that thing from up north. Up for those guys. He can shoot it a little bit. So give me Fred VanVleet.
Cool. Have you gone yet?
Yeah. So I was looking at the odds for it actually, and Trae Young was the odds-on favorite. I do believe, and then I was looking at these were by Bovada. Karl Anthony Towns had double the odds of the person who was second to last. So Karl Anthony Towns had the worst odds, and then he had double the odds of the person that was second to last, I believe.
I want to know who's last. Hold up.
Last is Karl Anthony Towns. He has the worst odds.
Really?
And that is strictly because of his size. I just want to put that out there. I do think that he can shoot with these guys, and that's why I'm picking Karl Anthony Towns to win the three-point contest. He's shooting 44% from three-point range, so he can shoot that thing. He just might not be able to get from rack to rack as quick as some of these little guards.
He has to move the ball.
And his shot's not the quickest or anything. He has to load that thing up, but the ones he do shoot, they will be money. I'm going with Karl Anthony Towns, but if I had to go with the dark horse, I'm going to roll with my Duke boy, Luke Kennard.
I was thinking Kennard too. Ohio.
Luke Kennard is my pick. That is the winner. I just want you guys to know. Yeah.
You already saw it.
Yeah. It's a bucket with Trent. It's a bucket with Trent-esque vision.
Visionary.
Touchdown score equals. But yeah.
Keith, who was yours?
I said Zach LaVine.
LaVine, okay. And then the last one, skills competition. Now they have 3 teams with 3 people each, so there's 9 people total competing, but a team wins. Team Rooks is going to be Scotty Barnes, Cade Cunningham, and Josh Giddey.
I don't need to hear anymore. That's who's winning.
Then you have Team Cavs, Jarrett Allen, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley. Then you have Team Antetokounmpo with Giannis, Alex, and Thanasis Antetokounmpo, the brothers. Personally, I think Team Giannis is not going to win because this contest involves shooting. I don't think that they're going to outshoot Darius Garland or any of the rookies. I just don't think any of them will, so that eliminates them for me. And Team Rooks, I think that, Team Cavs, it's in front of their home crowd right before Garland's first and Jared Allen's first All-Star games. No, bro, they're winning. Give me Team Cavs. Unpopular opinion.
Yeah, so I just got done talking about the All-Star game with some sweats, so I'm going to roll with Team Rooks. I think that they're going to go out there with something to prove. They're going to go out there and actually try their hardest. Cade won Rising Stars MVP yesterday. He looked really good. I know it was a bullshit game. Everybody was bullshit. Anthony Edwards was on the team, proceeded to play 2 minutes in the first game, and then didn't play for the last game. So thanks for that, and I stayed up and watched it for you not to play. But Cade Cunningham did end up winning MVP with Evan Mobley on his team. I am him, Giddey, and then I'm a huge Scotty Barnes fan. I love Scotty Barnes. I loved him when he was at FSU. I loved him when he went to Mount Verde in high school. I'm a huge Scotty Barnes guy. So I'm going to roll with them. I will say it will be interesting to watch Alex Antetokounmpo. I was watching him in high school as well. So now I think he's playing for the G League Ignite. So it'll be interesting to see him on the big stage on the NBA. I'm kind of excited to watch him as well.
I'm going to go with Team Rooks just for Josh Giddey. That man is magical. So I'll just roll with that. Team Rooks got it.
Yeah, I think the Team Brooks probably got to be the favorite, just thinking about the names at the top of my head. Obviously, the skills competition prioritizes just dribbling and passing as well, and those guys kind of a little bit more ball handlers than I guess some of the big men. Mobley's freaky. I'm a big Mobley guy, but I think the Rooks win this thing. I think they're a little bit more athletic, and I think they'll probably sweat it out a little bit harder.
All right, 2 things for me. Mobley is he's going to be the best guy from that draft class. That was my first thing. Second thing is, did you guys notice that Jayshawn Tate was in the Rising Stars game yesterday? So you might not know.
I know who he is. He's a really good player. He is. So he actually played at Ohio State, and that's why I know him. I watched him play there, but he's like 27.
Ohio State fan?
Yeah, dog.
Oh.
Yes, everything Ohio. Except for Timberwolves. Let's go. Anyways.
That's because of D'Angelo Russell, right?
Yes, who also went to. All right. Anyways,
did you sense the sarcasm?
But
Zeke Elliott.
Yeah, but Jayshawn Tate is like 27 years old.
He's an old.
He's a second year, but like he's like, why is he in the? I guess, but like, he's older than like a lot of the guys that have been in the league like 4 or 5 years. Yeah, he's older than Giannis, or he might be 26 or something like that. But he's either 26 or 27, which is,
funny. It's like what's that one dude from the Lakers, Andre Ingram, a few years ago? He was been on their for like 8 years.
He did have a super. I think it was the game-winning layup. He had a super tough game-winning layup. I don't know if you guys watched. It was against the LaMelo's team. I don't know the team names, but I barely watched. But
who do you guys have for All-Star Game MVP? Oh wait, no, y'all need to do your
Giannis.
Yeah, Giannis.
No, I think Team KD wins, so I have to go with somebody from Team KD, and I'm gonna go for Anthony Towns. Why not? Karl Anthony Towns.
That's facts. I think Team KD is winning as well, and I'm gonna go with Ja Morant.
That was gonna be my other guy. Yeah.
I was gonna go with Ja.
Yeah, I don't mind Ja. I don't think it's a bad pick, obviously, because it's going to be about who can have the most clout out there. And, he throws down a couple dunks.
Yeah.
He could win that thing for sure. But Giannis is a sweat, bro. It's going to be Giannis, bro.
It's not Giannis. It's not LeBron. It's not Ja. It's none of these guys that you're thinking. It's the hometown kid, Darius Garland. They're going to play the hell out of him. LeBron wants Cleveland to like him, so he's going to tell everyone to give him the damn ball. He's a young guy in front of his home court in his first All-Star game. Why not?
Could be.
Give me Garland. Yeah. Anyways. So, MLB.
So this was kind of my topic, and I'll just be really brief about it. For those of you that have kind of kept up with the MLB, it's been a lockout for about a couple of months now, and negotiations have been going on, and they have just not been going good, whether it's the MLBPA. I stand up for the players and want them to get rights, but at some point they're just not even listening to offers, and they're just not moving from what they want. And then the owners are trying to budge a little bit, but then they're not giving into what the MLB Players Association exactly wants. So it's a little bit of a sticky situation. There's still been going on. As of right now, on February 19th at 1 p.m., the last negotiation lasted a total of 15 minutes, which is absolutely terrible, absolutely awful. So with that being said, they already missed the deadline where spring training games are being postponed and they're being delayed. The next deadline is February, whatever the last day of February is. I think it's the 28th. If they do not reach their deadline or reach an agreement by February 28th, then that means that the regular season is going to be postponed. They said that talks are starting to ramp up and maybe both sides are being a little bit more lenient. But if the last meeting was 15 minutes, I just don't see how that happened. With all that being said, let's say that an agreement does still get reached. You still have superstars that are on the market like Carlos Rodon, Carlos Correa, Trevor Story, the Japanese product Suzuki. All of these guys are still on the market, and teams are still going to sign these guys. You still got to go through OTAs. You still got to go through spring training. You still got to go through practice. Then we got the regular season. So my question was, do you think that chemistry or teams will be affected by the shortened kind of off season because of the lockout? And do you think that we'll see that impact in the regular season? I personally think so, because these new guys have to, get acquainted with the city, get acquainted with the coaches, get acquainted with the manager and their teammates. You're just simply not going to have much time to do that with all this bullshit that's been going on. So I think that it's going to show. And I think that you'll see that early in the season until they eventually get woven in. So I think that superstars like Carlos Correa, Trevor Story, Carlos Rodon, guys like that, they might struggle to begin the year.
Bro, isn't it always a lockout for the MLB? Like, I feel like this is a consistent thing.
No, it's not a consistent thing. So the last thing happened, I want to say 8 or 10 years ago. Oh, no, 19. It was in the 1990s. It was in the 90s. So basically, when the contract expires between the MLB Player Association and the MLB owners, once that expires, you have to negotiate a new deal. And the MLBPA is the Players Association is negotiating for multiple things. Basically, for the NL, pitchers have to hit, where in the AL there's a designated hitter. They're trying to get universal DH. That has been confirmed. So there will be a universal DH next year. But just wages for minor league players, I don't know if you've seen it kind of on news outlets, but it's kind of a known thing that minor league players, minor league coaches, they absolutely get hoed with their wages, with their eating, with their meals, all that kind of stuff, housing. They get absolutely hoed, and it's not fair at all. So the MLBA is kind of negotiating new deals, so it's kind of fair for everyone, and a bunch of other stuff that I'm not going to get into detail about, but it's just them getting a new contract set up so they won't have to have this happen again for another, we'll say 10 or 20 years.
Yeah. I was going to jump in. I was going to say, I don't think chemistry, it's important in baseball, but it's not as important as it is a sport like hockey, as it is a sport like basketball, hell, football. I mean, yeah, on certain places of the field, the pitcher and catcher need to have it. Your 3 outfielders need to have it, and your 4 infielders need to have it. But, the center fielder doesn't need it with the catcher in that sense. And
I don't know about that.
I don't see why they would need chemistry, because in a sense, in the batting order, no matter what team you're playing for, whether it's your first game or your 1000th game, you know that if there's a runner on third with 1 out, you put the ball in right field in the air.
Yeah, but do you know that? But do you know that? And here's my counter to that. I'll say guys in the MLB, and this is for years past and this is years right now, and I'm going to use the Tampa Bay Rays as an example. Guys that want to play together and play as a team are going to be better. I think the Rays are the perfect example of that. If there's a runner on third base with less than 1 out, they are getting that run in. They steal bases, they play small ball, they do what they need to win the game. I'm saying, do you think a guy like Carlos Correa, let's say that he goes to a random ass team. Let's just say that he goes to the Cincinnati Reds. He's not going to the Reds. Let's say he goes to the Reds. Do you think he's going to buy into the culture of, okay, let's help Cincinnati Reds win the thing? Or do you think he's going to go in and say, runner on third base with 1 out, instead of let me get a sac fly to right field and get an RBI, let me try to go for this 2-run jack right now. Instead of upping my on-base percentage, let me just try to hit 1 out of the park right now. Do you think that they'll buy into the winning culture and do what they need to do to win baseball games? Or do you think it'll be an individual thing where they'll just try to boost their stats and do what they need to do so will they be successful?
How long is his contract going to be in that case?
And Carlos Correa, he's getting an
8 to 10 year. He's going to get the bag.
If he signs an 8 to 10 year deal, he is the chemistry. Because he's going to sign a max deal, right? Obviously, or close to it.
No, he is. He's going to break the records for the contract.
He is going to become the center point, the focal point of the team, unless he goes. I know that there's still a chance he goes to the Yankees. He won't be the center point there. It's still going to be Aaron Judge. It's still going to be Garrett Cole. Where else is he even rumored? The Mets? No.
I don't want to get my hopes up, but you did say a little something about Boston. I'm not going to get my hopes up, but maybe.
Be the center point there? Low-key?
No.
Rafael Devers. It's not that good.
Rafael Devers is a better baseball player than Carlos Correa. He is. And Rafael Devers is also 24 years old. He is.
But I don't think it's important. I'm not saying it's not. And I'm not, if you have no chemistry on your baseball team, you're going to lose every game. I'm 100% agreeing. But it's not as important as it is these faster paced games where you can't stop every single time something happens. In basketball, they might not stop for 6 minutes straight. And if it's your first time playing with that new team, it's going to be a whole lot worse than it is baseball. At least in baseball, you can just rely on your past fundamentals to know what to do in situations. In basketball, you don't know where your teammates are going to be. Hockey, soccer, you know what I mean? Like, you can't. In football, how many, you see it all the time. The quarterback throws the ball before the receiver even finishes his route. before he looks. That's chemistry. The receiver like Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers, he just knows where the ball is going to be. Aaron Rodgers knows which way he's going to option his route. You know what I mean? But in baseball, it's not necessarily. I can't like.
What about when what about obviously you mentioned the pitcher catcher, but what about like in an infield situation, like a first baseman, they know exactly where their guy is going to throw it, and each guy throws in a different place. Usually
that's what I'm saying. Like you can just rely on the basic fundamentals, and no matter if your chemistry is absolutely perfect in baseball, the shortstop across the diamond is not going to throw it here every time. You're going to have to move around no matter what.
But they have their tendencies because of like release points and stuff like that.
Yeah, but they're a professional player. I trust myself to hit the guy in the chest from 90 or how far away is third base? 120
Every
feet.
single time you trust yourself to do that?
Every 99.9% of the time, I think any of us in here could hit a professional first baseman where he could catch it.
Where he could catch it. You just said in the chest, though.
I don't know, buddy.
That's just basic baseball fundamentals as a first baseman. You don't trust you see where the ball's going to go.
I promise you. I have no idea, but I think you're incorrect. But we can keep moving on.
No, I'm not saying that there's none. I'm just saying it's not that important because, to counteract you in that, you're taught as a first baseman, don't stretch until the ball is thrown. So you should be able to see the trajectory of the ball as soon as it leaves anyone's hands of which way you should stretch and how high or low,
It's fine. But have you ever had it coming at you at 90 miles an hour or, something like that?
Had a what?
Have you ever had it coming at you at 90 miles an hour? Because they have like a lot less reaction time than – you played in high school, correct?
I played outfield, though, so I'm a bad example.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then it's coming at them a lot faster, and so they have a lot less reaction time. So I think it is pretty important chemistry-wise.
I didn't mean to make a whole conversation about. I was just saying, do you think that it'll be affected? I think that.
No, I'm just saying that like.
My opinion.
I think there's absolutely chemistry in baseball, and I think it's extremely important.
It's important, but it's not as important as other sports. That's all I'm saying.
I disagree.
I think you guys are just kind of like taking it and running with it. I think the bigger thing about chemistry, bro, like these are professionals, man. They're out there. They're going to get their reps in and everything. It's more about the locker room chemistry, bro. Like
that's kind of what I was referring to.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought as well. Because the MLB season is incredibly long. It's 162 games. You're with those guys every day. Like you got to get along with those guys. It's about having a good clubhouse environment to stretch run. And obviously, you mentioned Tampa. Has a pretty good reputation for that. You've seen some stuff blow up before for some teams, but yeah, I was thinking more like locker room chemistry.
Well, I agree, but you can play baseball on a successful team with a bunch of guys you don't like. You go in there and you just worry about your own damn self.
For $30 million a year, you're damn right I'll play for them.
Nobody's ever going to want to play with Altuve. No one wants to play with Correa. Like they you know what I mean? There's huge stigmas around their names and what they did way back when. So
I think what I was trying to get.
They're going to play regardless, but I'm saying if you think that locker room chemistry and you liking the guy beside you, obviously you're going to get paid millions. It obviously does have some impact because we've seen it in sports. We've seen it in baseball. In sports in general, y'all give me hell about it all the time. The Jimmy Butler and Karl Anthony Towns situation, they're both getting paid a supermax deal, but obviously something happened to the point where they didn't want to play together anymore. So you had to blow that up. If you look at the MLB, in recent history, teams that are more successful, these close-knit groups, the Red Sox are another example. If you watch the Red Sox dugout, Rafael Devers and Xander Bogaerts, they're freaking jokesters, dude. I call Rafael Devers a little-ass kid because that's what he is. He literally acts like a little-ass kid. He just plays around. Like JD Martinez is a veteran player in the dugout. He's sitting over there playing with his damn hat, taking it off and throwing it in the dugout, shit like that. He's a little-ass kid. He likes to have fun. The Rays are another example. These teams that are the Braves, they are a perfect example of just rallying around and just guys who play for a common cause. That's what – it's just guys that want to play with each other, like to play with each other. It makes a difference. And that's what I was asking. Guys that are coming on late, guys that are not having that OTA, spring training, practice time, do you think that it will take more time for them? And do you think that it will be seen on the field as far as wins and losses? They won't be as successful as later in the year. That's what I meant by that question. And I said,
Bro,
yeah.
the baseball season is so long. Like, how do you not? I don't know. I just feel like it's kind of hard for it not to happen accidentally, or like, I mean, obviously I'm not gonna watch it, but like the season is so long, I don't see how you can at least fake it until the point where you forget that you're faking it and it actually happens. So I don't know.
I think, Cole, obviously that's a big deal. But what I was trying to say is, like, Ryan, you talked about like a quarterback throwing it before the wide receiver's even looking. Like, when you're on third base, I mean, it's a fairly long throw. Not for those guys, they're obviously, but for a regular person, it's a fairly long throw. Knowing that like that ball is not going to come in at the exact spot every single time, knowing that your third baseman's tendencies like he throws it, like he tends to throw it in the top right corner of where I can reach, or he throws it in the bottom left. Knowing those tendencies is chemistry. That to me is that's chemistry. So I think it's pretty comparable to your quarterback throwing it before the wide receiver even looks. Knowing where that ball is going to come is, I don't know.
I understand what you're saying, and you're not wrong. So, yeah, I just don't
That's
think
the
it's as
lockout.
important. Yeah, that's all. And also, that's all the time we have for today. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Make sure you guys follow us on Twitter, follow us on TikTok, follow us on everything. Check out Pub Sports Talk, check out Raise Energy. Let us know what you guys want to hear about in the comments. Follow us on Instagram at _sports, FOURTOSCORESPORTS, _sports. Thank you guys so much for listening. Colt, before we go, you got anything you want to say?
Shout out to Pac-9. Shout out the baseball team. It's out there all 9 innings for Friday's game against Evansville. You guys look nasty. Shout out to you guys. Me and Clark will be out there today at least. I think Zach said that he's probably going to go. My boy Clark out here in the back. You guys can't really see him, but shout out to them. We'll be out there all year supporting you guys. We got to get back what was taken from us last year, and we're going to do that this year. So shout out to them.
Shout out Bengals, Super Bowl. Almost there. 0-4 now in the Super Bowl. But we're going to get one soon, probably like next year or something like that. Something slight, just, next year Super Bowl, that'd be cool.
Yeah, like Colt said, shout out to Pac-9. We'll probably start covering them more once they start getting into more conference play and stuff like that. A lot of new guys. We'll keep you all updated on that, of course. But I'll shout out my team. Yeah, shout out the Hurricanes as well. I guess that's one of the main, other than the NBA, that's really still even going on right now.
Yeah.
So shout them out. They're playing well. But yeah.
Oh, wait. One last shout out. Shout out this team right here, Ohio State, the number one team in the nation, according to the ESPN rankings and according to me as well. Three Heisman contenders on the offense. We're going to be gross. We're getting a chip this year. Thank you.
Beware the episodes of March. March is coming, March Madness, all that. But for the time being, up to now, thank you for listening. I love you guys. Shout out Coach Skies, they poking out right now. Shout out Deontay Hitchcock, just dropped the album, all that stuff. And shout out you guys for listening to us thus far. Keep it going. But besides all that, we love you and thank you.
We love you so much. Check us on social media. We'll catch you guys in the next one.